Hey everybody, Jason Levine here with the Dice Tower. I'm going to be showing you off my collection today. At some point we're going to actually count these me and Tom because we have to officially count them for Guinness. But as you can see, I have some shelving here, a lot of it. And let's just kind of see, I know the big thing that you guys have said in the past is how come some stuff is shrink wrapped, or a lot of it. They make fun of me on this, but it's because some games I played copies from other people. Not every game here is something that I've played my own copy, but it doesn't mean I haven't played the game. And some games I got and just didn't get a chance to play, but a lot of these I've played, even if I haven't played this particular copy of it. So as you can see here, I, at least on the shelving here in what is my garage, I tried to organize things by shape of the box, so they kind of look a little nice on the shelf. I probably have to come up with some sort of resorting at some point, but for now, it's kind of a old history of games. I mean, Talder Koenig is probably like, 20 years old, 25 years old?
Triangle box.
Yeah, you've never seen that?
It's nice. What's this flashback? It looks like a piece of poop sitting on a couch.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a good, that's a trivia game, not very good.
Power Baron? That's an old game, isn't it?
Power Barons is a really old game, yeah. So is Quandary, which was made many, many times in other years, Z has that nice Thor edition of Quandary, but that one I really like because of the tiles in it. Here's some, I guess, newer games. I tried to put stuff in the front because this is the part where people kind of walk by and see first. So I figured I'd put stuff that I thought was cool right in the front here because it's an interesting place to start. I also have lots of my, I guess, War of the Ring. Here's a War of the Ring and a War of the Ring collector's. Well, not this in the collectors. This is just War of the Ring.
First and second edition, right?
This is first edition and first edition expansion, the Third Ages. The old Queen games, Wallenstein and Im Zeig de Cruisen. Some old White Wing games here. I see something that Tom's going to like when we get to it.
Cosmic Encounter?
It could be. Look over here. Look over here. We've got Simply Cosmic, which is the mini expansion, plus more Cosmic and Cosmic. We've got all the Cosmic Encounters here. My favorite edition, the Mayfair edition. I've got all the old, these are all the Cosmos two-player games. There's tons of them here. And some of the old Eurocart games, the little blue box games, some memoir stuff, more of the Cosmos / Rio Grande two-player games, and some of my favorite games. I like to put them in front. Vinci became Small World. Yeah, Vinci became Small World. This is the Settlers, another Settlers variant, the Stone Age Settlers. Then we have.
So far, we've only seen one row.
And that's only one side of one row because each shelf I put things on both sides. As you can see, if you look over here, I kind of did a double stack. But over.
Oh wait! Oh.
So yeah, if you look here, you can see.
Is this the way behind all of them?
Behind all of them, everything's doubled. Yeah, I've got games on both sides of the shelves. They're actually like sort of double wide shelves, and there's games on both. These are like Hare and Tortoise, some old San Marco, really good game. A lot of old games are down here too. The Tilsit games. Over here, some of those rare games, I guess.
Tell me what this is here.
Oh, Formula Day. If you haven't played Formula Day, this is one of my favorites. I have every track. So this is all the tracks from 3 all the way to 34, which is these 34, 35 is the track that never came out in the U.S. because they had the copyright infringement with Disney, plus the newer tracks from all the Formula Days, plus a lot of Mage War stuff. Formula Day, interesting enough, I have all the versions of it. Here's Formula Day. This is the one you guys mostly know because
most people know this one.
Okay, most people know that. That's true. That's true. Most people know this one, but for those of you who know this one, I would add the different dice and Big Blue, the 30-sider. The original Formula D here, which came out before this one only had a 20-sided die and a chart you had to read to see how fast you went for each gear you're in. Now I know why this one sold more because having a different die for each gear was much cooler. But
Formula Day Mini.
Formula Day Mini, yes, they made a mini version which only had 4 cars. Here's my Dice Tower Essentials area. As you can see, I decided to put them all together.
So here's Robin Hood.
Robin Hood, which was what became Sheriff of Nottingham.
Right.
Nothing Personal. I have Robo Rally, all of the Robo Rally, including all the special maps right here. I also have, as you can see, some old Magic stuff. If you see here, Garfield Games. This was like when Magic first started. There's some Magic posters here that are really rare. These are original posters when the first set came out, the Alpha Beta set. They made posters, a limited run, and I have the original poster set of the original 300 cards of Magic right here, which is pretty cool.
It's weird to you, Bucci. That's like a little kid's game.
Oh, I have all sorts of games. Kids games, adult games. You know, you don't have to be just an adult to enjoy games, and there's lots of good kid games. Here, as you can see, is like a Concordia Power Grid section. I have some other maps because they changed some of the maps. They changed the name, so I have some of the extra maps here for Formula D.
More Formula D?
More Formula D. There's a lot of Formula D. Here's some Friedman Freese games and some Mac Gertz games. I have a lot of those. Avalon Hill. Everyone knows Avalon Hill is kind of an older war game company. So here's like a lot of the old Avalon Hill games here. Some of the old ones, plus Demacher. Demacher's coming out, isn't it? Someone's reprinting that now, I think.
I don't remember.
They might be. They might be reprinting
Now
it.
here's some...
Star Wars Risk and Star Wars Risk, the Black Edition. And
So the light's not so good here.
some more Tilsit things. Yeah, the light's not great, but you know, we're here just to show you some good stuff rather than caring so much about the light here, because it's more about it. We'll swing around.
Look at this side.
So over here we have a lot of medium box games. That's what fit. Because I used to run an Igloo Pop tournament at the World Board Gaming Championships, so I had some extra copies of it from the time that I used to run it there. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, both versions of the game. That's for Eric. Look up on the top. That's for Eric there. In case you didn't know, there were two different Buffy the Vampire Slayer games. And I have them both, Eric. I see Old Blood Bowl. Did you see that Old Blood Bowl at the top, Tom?
Yeah, that's like one of the original
That is one of the original ones, yeah. It's amazing, like, when you look back through the years and see games that are way out of print, and you're like, wow, they still make these games, or they're still around, which is kind of cool.
These are a lot of games that like almost no one plays today.
They don't, but you know, Shrill still Zoc makes really good games. This is the one where you had the spinner and the pieces go in and you make the music and then you spin and the wood pieces spin through that wood spinner. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I've never even heard of it.
Oh, I'm gonna have to. I'll unshrink this one and we'll have to play it at some point. It's a really good game.
Now here's some. This is Phalanx games.
Yes.
War games.
Yeah, all their little mini war games, which was really cool, and Old Mexico and Java. And I know he calls somewhere Union Pacific. This is one of those games where it became really rare for a while, but then he made Airlines Europe instead, and it kind of took over. These are GMT. Now, I've collected all sorts of things. So I have GMT war games here. These are all Columbia games, the block war games, which now are becoming kind of in fashion to play like those hidden movement war games, like sort of like a more fancy version of a Stratego or something like that. And it's pretty cool when you think about what Columbia Games did way back in the day that you wouldn't even thought about.
What's these? Are they like
This is no, this is part of this is the fantasy one from Columbia Games. The what's it called? Not that Rule of the Hand, but these ones. That's it. The Wizard Kings.
Wizard Kings.
It was. These are all the different armies for the fantasy version of it.
And here's some fairly old games. The 3M.
The 3Ms, yes. If these games they were called bookshelf games, like Bazaar, which is one of my favorites, Sid Saxon game. It came in these awesome looking like cases, and they look like books on your shelf if you put them sideways. I of course have them flat, but I still think it's pretty cool when you see some of this. You're like, wow, there's some really neat stuff in here. This is all GMT. This is my big GMT section. Lots of the old war games, lots of the Command and Colors stuff, Command and Colors Ancients. I have more of it on the other side. But spin around. Oh, this one shelf there. If you look up top, I have a few big things. Fire and Axe, which that's the way old version. The original 1960 before it was reprinted. Spellbound. Also, this is where I keep a lot of my non-Dice Masters Dice Masters. As you can see, I liked the Lord of the Rings game. Tom didn't. I really liked it. I liked that it was co-op and you fought together in it.
2 of every box.
Because I have 2 of all those. I know you always tease me about what I might have 2 of. I like my Warriors. I have 2 of all of those. Don't worry, we might do something with those one day. You know, I'm thinking about what I might do with some of this.
That is a Shelf of Dominion.
It's a Shelf of Dominion, in case you guys want to see.
Neuroshima Hex.
Neuroshima Hex and Dominion. Here's a shelf of all of that. Oh, look, it's a shelf of Pandemic. There's all the pandemics, or at least the second printing. I have the first printing too, but that's yeah. Here's some little small world shelf, and Dungeon Pets, and Few Acres of Snow. Yggdrasil. When we talk about co-op games, this is one of my favorite co-op games.
One of the hardest, that's for sure.
It's hard, but it's great, and there's some GMT stuff.
All right.
Whoa, Stefan Feld section. Don't forget this. Look down here. This is one of my favorite sections. We've got Zimbabwe, which is Splatter, Duck Dealer Splatter. I've got a bunch of the old Artipia games, Terra Mystica, Macau, and all of Stefan Feld's old games. And some really cool games here. Whitechapel, La Boca, Ascending Empires. My Star Trek Fleet Captains is up there with some legendary stuff. It's pretty interesting. Now we're going to get to some, I guess here we have a Galaxy Trucker Anniversary and some more. What I did is I just put the big things on the top. There was just a lot. But a la carte. Oh,
multiverse, a lot of that.
Sentinels. Here's something for you, Tom. Look. Duel of Ages. This is the second version of it. The first version we'll get to later, but this is the second edition of it right here, which is pretty cool.
This game is a huge game.
Seventh Ages. By the way, this is the original Through the Ages. This is the one. They used to be called CBG, in case you didn't know that. Before it became CGE, if you notice it says CBG Czech Board Games. They changed their name, obviously, to CGE Czech Games Edition, but they used to be CBG, and this is the original two versions of Through the Ages. Over here. Here's a bunch of 18X games.
Holy moly.
I know I'm an 18X fan, so you can see my 18X stuff. And lifeboats, and you can't have a shelf without at least something Star Wars. So here's Star Wars. And Tribune. This is out of print. I didn't realize Tribune was out of print. I heard people saying that it's very expensive now. This when we talk about games that come back, this game should come back in print. Over here we have... These are some classic Avalon Hills. Yeah, these are like my Avalon Hill collection. History of the World, Age of Renaissance, We the People, the original version. A lot of really cool games over here. Fear of Dracula. In case anyone want to know, this is what the Games Workshop First Edition looks like of the Fear of Dracula.
This was a really hot game for a while.
That was a hot game. It was a pretty good game. And
Mr. Jack.
A lot of Mr. Jack, different versions of it. Some more Avalon Hill stuff. This looks like a lot of old Avalon. And Tim Jim. Do you remember Tim Jim? Fast food franchise, which was a much better version of like a Monopoly type of game. That's over here. We have, the original Princes of the Renaissance is over here, which just got reprinted by Mercury Games, didn't it? And here's the original Pandemic. This was the original version before they changed the artwork. Some old Habba games and some... I see Talk Woodman down there. See, there's another kid's game. Cranium Disney. You know, I love my Disney. Who doesn't? Here's Seven Wonders. In case you didn't know.
And it's 3 copies.
3 copies of everything, including the promos. Maybe one of these we'll do something with at some point.
Oh.
Dark Tower, in case anyone didn't wanted to see. And my tower still works, by the way. And Roads and Boats in Antiquity. Oh, yeah.
That's like a very expensive shelf.
This is kind of an expensive shelf, yes. Until you get some of this. Look, Quest for the Dungeon Master, the old from the old cartoon series.
This is the very first.
That's the very. Right? It's the same as that one. I happen to have 2 copies. I don't know why. I got them along the way. Over here is some more.
Seven Wonders.
More
copies of Babel.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Babel. I got my Babel copies there too, and Storage Wars, the game, was a very underrated game. I liked it. Here's King of Tokyo. Oh, and that one's been opened. Here, Tom, this is for you. If you look over here, Duel of Ages. This is the original Duel of Ages stuff. Everything.
Yeah, it came with all those boxes.
Yes, because everything came as little mini expansions at the time. So it came with a lot. Over here is a whole mix of stuff. In this mix, there's, old games, new games, Catan Jr., Abercawat. Here's like an old Sawali game. An old Splatter game. Beast is one of the oldest ones. Here's Vasco da Gama, Tom. I know how much you love this one. This is the game that started your popularity, didn't it?
Lots of first and goal expansions.
That's everything first and goal. Everything you could think of first and goal is in here. And on this side, this is some really old stuff. This is all 3M stuff here.
Can't tell what those games are, really.
This is like the whole 3M section here. So if you're looking for a 3M game, let me just slide it out. You can see here's Acquire. This is the one with the wood pieces in it.
I chose the one next to it too, so we can see two different ones.
Well, this one actually is not this is Origins of World War II. Do you remember this game? No. It was a little diplomatic game. It's actually more of a Euro style game, but it's a war game. But underneath it, if you want to see different boxes, here is
Feudal. No, it's not Feudal.
Oh, here's another Acquire. Sorry. Here is Feudal. No, Twixt. There's a bunch of them in here.
Meanwhile, he's collecting this nonsense like Survivor.
What's wrong with Survivor? Survivor is like the game show version of things we play. Survivor is cool. I know it's weird, but right, I have all sorts of things. Wait. We gotta wait. Okay, let's look at. So we're gonna look here. I got a few interesting ones. Saved by the Bell, the game.
That's not interesting.
But hey, it's all right because this collection's been Saved by the Bell. There's more.
I realize that there's another whole shelf thing. Here.
There's much more. We've only gone through. Game? This was Kingdom Hearts, the card game that went with the video game that was like a game. I don't know how to describe it. But over here, I want to show you some interesting things, Tom. Look, Aliens. This one day I'm going to get you to play because it's one of the best dungeon crawls ever. I know I always scare you, but I think so. The original Arabian Nights. This was the original version of Arabian Nights. And over here, we have the original Dune. Remember Dune? This is the Spice Harvest, the Duel, and the original game of Dune, with the original worm cover, as you can see here.
Yep. And more 1850s.
And more. Those were the Mayfair 18X games there. Which is the Mayfair did a bunch of Iron Dragon, which just got reprinted, I think. And this, in case anyone doesn't know, if you look here, these games right here, these were the original 5 games that Mayfair brought over. This was what started the quote-unquote Euro game craze boom. It was Settlers, Modern Art, Manhattan, and Streetcar. And Settlers actually had 2 different versions with 2 different color pieces, so you can make a double. They called it the Peanut, and you can play both. And this was the original box. It didn't have orange at all. It was kind of this interesting looking box. Was the original version of Settlers that came over to America. So what I did here is I didn't know what to do with my end caps. So I figured if I put a lot of my little games here in the end caps, as you can see, I have lots of the Bonanza expansions in here. I have all sorts of little mini games all going down. It was the best way to kind of sort these and also makes the end caps look really cool when you do this with the end caps. So I figured it was a good way to do this. Oh, yeah, this is Neuroshima Hex. Every army that ever came out for Neuroshima Hex is over here, which is kind of cool. This is now we're going into the middle section of the U, I guess. We'll call this the middle of the U. There's some interesting games here. El Grande, as you can see up top, is the original El Grande. Big Boss. Big Boss is a super rare game as well. Over here is some of the old Euro games like Dog's Life, which was just reprinted as well. And I have lots of the Star Wars card game, all the expansions over there, as well as... yeah, there's a bunch of things. Hang on, let me shine my light at the same time. We can get some more light here in about 2 seconds here. So here's some more light for this area. And as you can see here, sorry, my main section is in my garage, so it's very difficult. But this is a lot of older games in this section. There's Tricks and Rainbows and all sorts of old White Wind games and things that you wouldn't even see anymore. Civilization, the original version, 1830. Oh, and Civilization, the Western Map expansion. Now, this thing alone goes for like a couple $100 just for this, for a little envelope, which is crazy.
Melody, put that in the bag when we're not looking.
Am I going to have to like inventory everything now? No. So behind us, I have some old...
Wait, we got the Stratomatic stuff.
Oh, Stratomatic, yes. And probably one of the older games, Alfred Hitchcock, Y, and All the King's Men. Some really old stuff over here. We have some interesting games over here, too. Moonga Invaders, Kingsburg, the original, but I know the new version looks really good, so I'm looking forward to that. As well down here, just more cool things as we go along. Code Names here, of course. I mean, what collection wouldn't be complete without a copy of Code Names? Here's something that's fun. Did you know they made a Star Wars catchphrase version?
Yes, I have it.
This in both mine and Tom's collection. Gizia is another really good game.
All right, so we come out here, and again, this is kind of like
The U. This is sort of a mini shelf. This is the odds and ends shelf because I didn't kind of sort it, and I just threw a bunch of things on here. But I have some really old games.
Oh, this is old. These Dice Land.
Yeah,
games?
Dice Land, where the things fold up and turn into dice, and you actually play with the dice. Tides of Time, Eggs of Ostrich.
What is this Liar's Dice? They look like beer cans.
It's the Animal House version of Liar's Dice.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, there's some really interesting. Oh, here's some of my flicking games. I have Coup, both versions of Coup. This is that game that I told you about, the flicking game, the war game flicking game that you'd really like. An Ebbs, the trick taking game, and
AEG.
Yeah, my AEG, all the little baggy versions of AEG. Oh, and what were these things called? These dice, these special things that become like LED dice, Futuro cubes. Have you seen these?
No.
Remember they had them at BGG like about 8 years ago?
So.
They're really cool.
So the last shelf. Now, me and Jason cannot both fit down here, really.
No, we fit. So this is a lot of old. Obviously, this is some Z-Man stuff. Spielworks, you can see Rochefort, Colony, Zolkin, Kaboom, the original version. Lots of interesting stuff. Rex, Mystery of the Abbey. More GMT stuff. A whole nother GMT section over there. And I have some really old stuff here as well. Not so much in this section. Oh, Maria is a very good game. Maria is one of those really good games. But over here, what's one of the more interesting things when you get a little further down, after you see some of these interesting ones, is some of these old games. I mean, there's Dragon Scroll, another one of the Fragor games. Over here, Pueblo. Pueblo is a really good game. Carolus Magnus, that's the game that I like of his. Leo Colavini, that's one of his games I like. Here's some really old stuff. If you like Lord of the Rings, you remember this? The whole Lord of the Rings set.
Actually, there's like one missing there.
The fourth one, the whatever they call it.
Well, this stuff's way older.
This stuff's way older. Coup d'etat, which is interesting because the current Guinness guy, he said his most rare game is Coup d'etat, and we're looking here and I'm seeing much more rare games than Coup d'etat. Original Cathedral, The Old Through the Desert, Curse of the Mummy's Tomb. That was the sequel to Fear of Dracula.
I wonder why they never did more of that.
And some of the old Way Out West, the Board Game Geek game. That's also very rare. I think there was only 500 of those made or something. It's very interesting when you see this. And here's some really old. I love 3D games. Have you played Roomis or Blocus 3D? I love those 3D games. And Mall of Horror.
Oh, now here's some rarities.
Yes, this is all super rare. This is more Avalon Hill stuff, Victory Game stuff, and also Renegade Legion. Renegade Legion was a really cool system. Breakout Normandy, Geronimo. This is all really old Avalon Hill stuff over here. Oh, and Spices of the World, which, by the way, the pieces have real spices in them. The pieces were plastic, and they put actual spices in that game, which was pretty cool.
That's all Jason's game. That's a lot.
No, it's not. I have some more to show you.
Another room?
There might be.
What is this?
This is my secondary room. This is newer stuff that hasn't quite been sorted. As you can see, there's a lot of it here. I'm not exactly sure I'm going to figure out, I'm still figuring out how I want to resort my games because I think at some point I need to, but this has a lot of the newer stuff in here. Some old things too, but a lot of new stuff. And
quick, find a box that doesn't have shrink on it.
Right here. Lignum doesn't have shrink. Pie Face doesn't have shrink. Bob Ross Art of Chill doesn't have shrink. I found someone else shrink here. I also have these bags of little games here. We did say I had a lot of games. These aren't gift bags. What's interesting is this one happens to be a gift bag from a convention. As you can see, the Sheriff of Nottingham expansion plus a bunch of other stuff which we gave out during Dice Tower Cruise. But here's a game that I played that I think I'm going to do a review of this. the Explorers of Ixalan. It's really cool. If you like Magic, it's really cool. Wait for my review on it. But over here, here's where I keep my regular Dice Masters stuff, as you can see. There's all my Dice Masters, at least the ones that I've opened so far. And a bunch of other games here. These are games that I thought were cool, so I figured I'd kind of highlight them on this secondary nice shelf here. And I have my other pandemics here. I have Iberia, Cthulhu. I have Rising Tide somewhere. I have to find it. But yeah, this is a whole section of other cool games. Or I guess I'll call this the pseudo wall of games. But it's very interesting up here.
So why buy so many games?
I don't know. I mean, this is something we talked about. Like, why do you buy so many games? I'm not sure. I mean, I've always enjoyed games. I like playing them. Even if I haven't played, like I said, even if I haven't played these ones, I've played a lot of them with Tom. And then I have my copy in case I want to play it. In case I want to, if friends come by, I can say, hey, what do you want to play? And I don't mind opening. I know everyone says, oh, well, they're still in shrink wrap. But if Tom said right now, hey, do you want to crack this open? I would crack it open. It's not like I feel like I need them to be in shrink wrap to be saved, because I'm not collecting these games to say, oh, I want them saved and they have to be pristine. No, I'll crack everything open. I'll punch to pieces. I'll play it. But I like having the option where people come in and anything they ever could dream that they want to play, they could come and play. And that's what's really cool about it, is it's kind of like, you walk into a store and you could pick something here. You could walk into my house and say, hey, Jason, we want to play this with you. And hopefully it'll actually be something that's here and waiting for you.
Alrighty, well, that's that.
Not quite. I've got a few more special things to show you before we leave.
What?
Okay, so here is my loft. This is where I shoot videos. I just shot some videos for Transatlantic and Kalimala, as you can see. But I have some cool stuff under here. So I just want to crack a few of these out quickly to show you. Here is Twilight Struggle, if people haven't seen the deluxe edition of Twilight Struggle. And it comes with some really nice stuff in it. I also have a lot of other things. This is going to take a while. I might have to pass the microphone to Tom, but let's see.
Tom, we'll take the microphone now.
Okay. This is my Dice Masters box that they gave us, that I have some Dice Masters.
It has your name on it.
It has my name on it, which is pretty cool. That was given as a gift to us. But here's some of the cool stuff that I have. Let's see. This is the Settlers of Catan. If you haven't seen this is Catan 3D, the 3D Collector's Edition. These pieces are gorgeous. Let me see, I'll open it up. It might take a second here to open it, but let me show you what the 3D Collector's Edition looks like inside.
That plastic piece was just meant to hold it when you bought it.
I know, but I like that plastic piece. But as you can see, there's all these nice armies. Look at these gorgeous pieces. Look at these tiles. Now, these tiles are some of the coolest tiles I've seen in a game. I don't know how many people have seen these before, but these tiles are, like, here's a mountain. Is that like one of the most gorgeous things you've ever seen in a game? I love the way these pieces look in this game.
All right. Well, we'll have you do a full unboxing of that at some point.
But let me show you the other two masterpieces very quick. These ones are going to be heavy to get out, but I got to get them out. Here is the... As you see me struggling to get this up.
If you fall off the balcony, this is going to go viral.
If I fall off the balcony, this will go viral. But here is my War of the Ring Collector's Edition. Or as I say, that's an extra piece. Yes, there was a promo for it, and I have the promo. One game... Oh, let me find the opening for this. This is one game to rule them all. As you can see, look at the minis in this one. This was just a well put together set. It has an amazing looking rulebook, amazing looking minis, and this is one of those games where you just have to see it. And when it's laid out on the table, and I've actually played with this copy of it. This is not, as you can see, it's open. I've played with it. It is amazing. And it's totally worth it. It's still one of my favorite games of all time, War of the Ring. I also have the special Gandalf pieces for this, right over here. So, I have... Oh no, the Gandalf pieces are what's in here, actually. These were the special promo Gandalf pieces.
They've been stolen.
Look at that. Gandalf the Grey.
Gandalf the White.
Or Gandalf the White, rather. And Aragorn. Special pieces for it. I have a Hanabi Deluxe version. And in case you guys didn't know, Vernon helped me paint my Small World set.
By help, he means just Vernon paints them.
Vernon painted it, yes. So, that sucker's right under here. Vernon's awesomely painted Small World. Designer's Edition.
All right, take the plastic off.
Look at these pieces. Vernon made me some amazing fireballs, which I think are gorgeous. And everything looks just like the book. I mean, when you look at the book in this, you can see...
These are the pots of gold?
Those are the pots of gold. I mean, look at the quality on that. It's incredible. And I was so happy that he did this for me. And the rest of it's just the pieces in the books and stuff. But this is incredible. Oh, here's the little special thing. Where is it? Where's the little house? So the little house, if you guys notice something here, let me find it. On the sign on the house, he put my initials. Where is it? Yes, he actually initialed the door. I think that's where it is.
I don't think we're going to be able to get that close.
We're not going to be able to get it close, but he actually initialed the door and put my initials on the door, which is pretty cool. So this is my collector's edition stuff, as you can see, in my filming area, as you can see with the lights and tripods down. But this is kind of where I do my filming every day, and it's kind of a nice area of the house for this. So now we're going downstairs. Whoop.
You just turned off the lights.
Because I have one more thing. I have one last thing. Okay, this section right here. This is the last thing.
Sorry. What? Wait.
I haven't opened these yet.
What is that?
Wait, you haven't started recording yet, have you?
I'm recording.
Wait.
This is disgusting.
Okay, Tom is saying that this is... What did you say it is?
This is disgusting.
So this is what I haven't opened yet. This is Dice Master stuff and Star Wars stuff. I have to crack these open at some point. But if Tom thinks that this is disgusting, just come around here in the backside of my bar. This is my downstairs bar. This is a sorting section for now.
No drinks here.
No drinks here, but there's even cooler things, because watch what happens when I pop open this door. Look. It's everything for Imperial Salt that you could ever imagine, including all the minis and everything.
Is there more things behind these doors too?
There's more things behind all of them. Behind door number 2, we have all the big Armada ships ready to be cracked open. Behind door number 3 here, we have all the X-Wing ships. And I don't...
Yes, Destiny.
No. X-Wing. Destiny's actually in my living room. We don't need to look at that, though. But I do have a nice... Yes. That's the pile of goodness that hasn't been sorted. But I do have this. Look at this. I'm working on making it nicer. But here's a little display case. I'm going to turn on the lights for you guys. This is my little X-Wing Armada display case where I kind of display all the games. And I figured this was a cool way to do this. I have a lot more, as you can see from the unbubble popped games. I have a lot more ships, and this is going to look like a massive army at some point. A massive fleet of ships. We're pretty excited about it. I mean, it's, you can see the history of everything X-Wing, everything Armada right here in this one shelf, plus this. So anyway, that gives you a glimpse into my collection. I'm going to... We're going to do another video at some point where we actually count these games for the Guinness thing. But at this point, I'm going to sign off. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Give me comments. What games did you see that you would love to get one day? I'm very interested in what you think about this. And for now, this has been Jason Levine with the Dice Tower, showing you Jason's collection.